I was asked to sort of summarize what we've learned and kind of participated with today. So the one word, whether with Stedman or some of the breakouts, even with Degreed Intelligence, and of course with Nancy, is adapt. And why? Well, let me share sort of a Nancy-esque story. Alice Coachman, anyone know the name? Alice Coachman, due to segregation in the 40s, early 40s, was not allowed to train the high jump. And so the white people over here were allowed to use all the equipment, and as a black woman, Alice Coachman had to figure out what to do. She was passionate about the high jump. And so she would cobble together milk crates and ropes, and she was barefoot, anything to upgrade her prowess to be a high jumper. If she didn't adapt, if she didn't think through what it was that she had to do to persevere with her passion about becoming a high jumper, Alice Coachman would never have become the first black woman to win a gold medal at an Olympics in the 1948 Summer Olympics in London. And so what I heard today through the various keynotes and some of the breakouts that I attended online and in person was that look in the mirror. Each of us has a responsibility as leaders, whether it's leaders of self, leaders of learning, and inside our organizations to adapt. Take some of the bits you heard today and start with you. But then don't forget we all have a responsibility, and I think inside our organizations, we can all play the part of an Alice Coachman. Persevere, adapt, and then help out your team members and yourselves with a better future, a better tomorrow. I do want to recollect from yesterday, and one of the words when I was going back into my room last night commiserating over losing $450 of not my money at the casino was the word empathy that Stedman used yesterday. And so two bits about empathy, first of all. Today, here in the US, of course, it's Veterans Day. Where I was born in the UK and where I live in Canada, it's known as Remembrance Day. This poppy is in the UK and in Canada how we signify, how we pay respect and honor those who have fallen and those who serve. So if at some point today you pay homage in your head to those who have fallen, those who serve, I think we could pay an empathetic nod to those that really created the way for us to be here today. That's empathy point number one. Empathy point number two, however, is when I was at the casino last night, and, thank you, Trish, TJ, and Dennis for also helping me lose my money. That was great. Neil came by every time and also was bad luck. We'll get to him later. But I was also thinking about camera one here. And although we have, 200 plus people here live in Los Angeles, thank you for coming, there is about 4 times as many people not here. And we are in the learning profession. One way, shape, or form. We lead ourselves, but we're also leading others in how we help people shape their competence. And so I was reflecting a bit on the word empathy and thinking to myself, you know what? This is my first live event in 21 months. And it's my first trip anywhere in 22 months here to the US. And I was thinking, you know what? We've got 800 plus people that are basically doing this. And this has been all of our lives for the past 20 odd months, has it not? And I think, given that this is Degreed's first hybrid event, that we here in the room in Los Angeles also need to pay respect, homage, and tip an empathetic ear to those online. Why? Because again, we're in the learning space. And I think our responsibility is to remember going forward, I think a lot of our learning events are going to be hybrid, whether that's coaching, whether that's an event of some sort that's learning, whether that's a meeting. And we need to remember this, as crazy as this looks. This is kind of what we need to be empathetic about, is those that are back there behind a camera and those who are face-to-face, we need to bridge the gap. Those that know Latin may know what pontifract, my last name, actually means. It means broken bridge. And so I've always thought that I'm actually the antithesis of my last name, trying to build bridges. So here for you, I hope that with that big gimmick, that you think about from an empathy perspective as you leave tomorrow to go home wherever you are, that we behind the camera on those lenses and we in rooms do bridge the divide and use empathy as a tactic in which to do so. Sound good? Please. For those of you online, thank you for putting up with us. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. For those of you that are here and online, don't forget Degreed Lens Pathway, where you can download a whole bunch of extra bits and bobs. And then ending up here, just a huge thanks to the audience, both audiences, live and virtual. I guess in person, I should say, and virtual. You've been a ton of fun. Thanks for not calling me Clippy over the past 48 hours. It was much appreciated. And a thank you to the Degreed team. I mean, this is pretty spectacular when you think about it. There's a whole bunch of people behind the scenes, from marketing to comms to PR to, a keynoter who contracts or is exposed, I suppose, right, to COVID and has to go in quarantine. Think about just the last 2 hours of that team. But to Sarah, to Lauren, to Jade, to that entire crew, just a huge thanks. I know when we were talking about Degreed Lens 2020, we were so excited. And to put this now, a year later on, hybrid, and I'm got to be here again, or at least contracted to be here. I've had the best time. I hope you have online. I hope you have here as well. A lot of learning went on. I hope you, as we've talked about, took notes. Let that assimilate, reflect on that, and then, go ahead and pay it forward. Teach someone else what you've learned over the last couple of days, because that's the best way, as we all know as learners, for it to stick. So with that, thank you very much. Peace be with you.